So when they had listed like applications for the VMod positions in the Discord, I had decided to just throw in my name into it.
Is it still alchemy or is it not alchemy?
Well, it is, but it also isn't.
So how long have you been playing Mabinogi for?
Way too long. So, I made it hasn't been continuous, but I made my character during the original open beta test for the game.
Right, right.
So it's been a very long time since then. I don't even have a quantity of years to put to it, but I remember back at the time when they were where Nexon was announcing the game as being new, I was playing Maple Story with a bunch of friends, and they were like, "Oh, you gotta check this out. There's this new game coming out from Nexon. Open beta is a couple weeks from now. We should all start at the same time."
Oh,
And that's also kind of where my character's name comes from,
right.
because Alchemy, well, before it was a talent and skill set and oncoming arcana,
Yeah, isn't that kind of crazy?
I went by Alchemy as my like online handle, and that was what they knew me as in Maple Story. So I carried that name over to Mabby without realizing that it would actually mean anything later.
Yeah.
But I only played for a couple weeks during then. Back then you had service being not expensive, but kind of like necessary to do the story. You had to like pay for premium to get a lot of stuff done. There was no free rebirths. The game wasn't exactly nice
It
to
wasn't as
you.
as addicting as it is
It
now.
was it was pretty addicting, but it wasn't as nice because it hit you with the paywall
Yeah.
much harder. I was like, "Oh, you had fun this week? Pony up."
Wait,
But
so do your friends that they joined with you, right? That's what you said.
yeah, they joined with me, and I don't know where pretty much any of them went.
Oh, that's kind of sad, but at least
That's
you
what
got so
happens
many
when you
more
have
friends.
this long from then too. Over a decade now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what are we at? Is that 14, 15 years since launch?
Uh, I don't know.
What
Yeah, I
anniversary
can't.
is coming up?
Is
A
it?
big
Wait.
number.
Oh, wait. Maybe. Maybe.
It's a big number that's coming up though, that's for
It's yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. For sure, for sure, for sure.
But
So,
basically
oh,
quit
sorry.
the game. Yeah, I basically had quit until Iria came out. And that's when I really started like playing.
Right.
So that would be where I really started.
Yeah, it's about the same for me. But that's a good time to, or that was a good time. That's a good time. That was a good time to join Mabinogi, I would say, because I mean, that was a huge update, just in general, right? Because we got elves and we got giants and we got a whole different continent, which I'm sure back then people didn't even, expect a whole new giant map, right? But
No.
that's what happened.
Yeah, the map ended up being excessively large compared to everything released
It
beforehand, and they
still
released it
is.
with it is. But back then in my day, we had fun exploring the random deserts for your treasure chest event,
Yeah,
random armor and
falling
stuff.
into random ant hells, and we had the area treasure chest event. That was a fun
That
event.
was I started with that event.
Me too.
That's the event I started with, where everyone was like doing it for dual wielding cutlass humans.
I'm just thinking, like,
That was
how did we do that? Like, how did we get away with doing that? Because everybody was going around. Well, I guess we didn't have demigod yet, so it wasn't as easy to just go around and just find the chests with demigod.
Well, it was also before we really had like all the chest points plotted. So where you had like a map of all the respawning chest points, there was no running around a demigod. Things were slower. You kind of just. Oh, I just remember following beeps around at like late at night when
Same.
no one else was on.
Same. Oh, good memories. Good memories. Um, but yeah, so you were a mod, or are you still a mod in the forums, I think, right?
Yes, although the forums are
Yeah.
almost entirely dead in this day and age.
Yes. So I was gonna ask, what made you decide that you wanted to be a mod for both the forums and for the Mabi official Discord?
Well, at the time I was using the Discord a whole lot. It was kind of before the town square section had died off into obscurity and was popping off every day, and it was to me at the time a huge community hub. So when they had listed like applications for the VMod positions in the Discord, I had decided to just throw in my name into it
See what happened.
and see what happens.
Yeah.
And it was originally just the Discord, but it kind of came with forum
Right.
stuff as well if I had wanted to. And I was like, I was huge on the forums back in the day. I
Right.
used it way too much. And unfortunately, I miss the old forum days, and it's
Yeah.
not as exciting as it used to be.
That's okay. No, I understand that. I remember posting quite a bit in the forums myself. I don't think I was like as active as other people, but yeah. No, I remember those days. But
Like before, we had two versions of the forums. So on the older forums, like I was incredibly active on, and that was like back during like my early college days,
right.
where it was just kind of like, oh, I'm in class. Well, people don't use Discord. Discord isn't a thing yet, and people just talk on like forums being the official ones in Mabi Nation, and that's kind of where I spent my time, like in between classes and stuff, just
Oh.
reading threads.
Oh, well, that's kind of relaxing. Like if you think about it, that's kind of relaxing. Well, unless it's like drama posts, but
Well, yeah, but it also suited that kind of schedule much better because
right.
instead of having your Discord bopping off 5, 10 messages a second,
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah,
could
yeah.
sit there and oh yeah, go to a class 30 minutes later, go check, and it didn't. People were still on the same topic.
Yeah, exactly. And
Instead
they
of
would actually, instead of using, one message at a time, they would be doing like just writing out full paragraphs.
and I miss that a lot. Just internet in general, because that the internet itself has gone away from that a
Ah,
lot.
that's fair. That's completely fair. I feel the same with a lot of internet stuff nowadays. I just like to look back, and remember. There's a lot of memories in this interview. Just thinking.
Hey, that's what happens when the game's been around that long.
That's true. That's true. So do you have a favorite talent? Is it still alchemy or is it not alchemy?
Well, it is, but it also isn't.
Oh,
So we do have the Alchemic Stinger Arcana coming up,
yes.
and beforehand, yes, alchemy was my favorite talent, but my close second was always ranged and archery. So
So it's
I'm hyped.
technically, yeah, I was gonna say it's technically your exact thing.
It was my two favorite talents becoming one, and I'm like, I'm all for it. I'm set up for its release. It'll
Beautiful.
be out soon.
Beautiful. Oh, I'm so excited for you. I mean, I think everybody's just gonna do it anyway, but I think it's much more special for you than it is for
Well,
others.
I know a ton of people will be going Dark Mage, and some people
Yeah.
are like, Alchemic Stinger was cool because Elf or Archery, but I'm just like, I was here first.
Oh. All right. So do you have a favorite NPC?
Yes and no, really. Story-wise, granted I never finished the most recent story, but I always
That's okay,
liked
that's okay.
Iroin's story arc from the early Tale quests to like now, where people kind of ignore it, but she's went through an immaculate character growth, almost more so than any other NPC in the game. From being like the naive queen she was in the earlier um, Tale and Terra missions, to
Oh, is
where
it
she is
Iroin?
now, yeah, Iroin, the queen.
Oh, that's a good
And
NPC.
I've liked her character because she actually had a ton of character growth. She went
Yeah.
from being like, oh, what am I doing? Where one of the first interactions is what the, like when you're infiltrating for the one interaction in the Shakespeare generation where she has like a speech before you have the Shakespeare RP.
Right.
So he has that big speech where I was like, wow, this character's really grown a lot from where she was prior. And then her characterization in the current generations where it's like, wow, she's actually doing a good job.
And I think, to add to that, I do want to say, I don't usually, when I'm doing, Mabby generation content, I don't actually go and look through the story. Like, I don't read the story, and I don't really care for the NPCs. But I still, what I want to say is I still see the growth, even without reading everything. So it's definitely there. Like, that growth for Irwin, definitely there.
I mean, I will digress. I did not read any of the Glenn story.
Oh, no, I didn't either.
Normally I read a lot. Normally I get really into the story, but this I was just like, get me into the dungeon. I just want to do it right now.
How do you feel about the more recent content, by the way?
I'm mixed. So obviously, I think the run limits are a little frustrating for what the game is trying to be, but it also suits my lifestyle better because I can actually maybe do weekly Glen runs if I just have to log on like
and
once
feel
a
like
week.
You're
feel like I'm still doing stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm really mixed on their way they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that maybe because I haven't really used any of the Arcanas so far. Like, it's been a year they've been out, and I really haven't touched them. I leveled them up, but I didn't really use them. So I never really felt that power increase that a lot of people felt from like Elemental Knight. And since I never did Rune Staff, I never felt the magic being really powerful. So I've just been kind of working through with what I've had prior. And it feels good, but I'm excited to like maybe actually have something more relevant to the content being designed, because you can really see how Glenn was engineered around having access to like elemental.
Yeah. No, yeah, you can definitely see that. Definitely. It is interesting to see how that's gonna work with the new Arcanas that are coming out too.
Death and destruction to all.
Exactly. So do you have any names of other people that you would like to give shoutouts to?
Not actually. It's
What?
funny enough.
What?
I know. A lot of my friends that I've had coming up just don't play anymore. I guess the one shout out that I'd really feel good giving out is to I don't know if anyone listening to this would remember her or their existence.
I might, maybe.
It was Oromune. She used to be a Discord mod and forum mod. It was about 3 years ago, and she was definitely... Her and her friend group are people I still talk to. They don't play Mabby anymore, but they're still some of my closest friends.
Yeah.
And Oromune passed away around 3 years ago.
Wait, I didn't know that. Oh, I'm so sorry.
And
random person going running past. Had a sad moment.
Happens. Hey, we're in a place. People come here a lot. It's the ovens.
Oh, what a little bright little moment for the sad.
Oromune, Zeke, Soifa.
Oh yes, I remember that name too.
I'm still friends with all of them.
Aw.
So there's some of my best friends.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I'm glad that you still talk to them, despite the sad part. But oh no, that's great.
The game did bring me to them, so that's a big deal.
Yeah, no, that really is definitely, because like the game is definitely based on relationships a lot of the time.
And that's
the social
where a
aspect.
lot of the fun is too. Like at the end of the day, I mean, that's the same for I think all online games, but
True.
It really is what you make out of it with both the game and your social interactions.
Yeah. Is there any advice that you would like to give people, whether it be in real advice or in-game advice or both?
This applies to game and things like just have fun. Just enjoy the game, life, whatever's coming your way. I see so many people, specifically with Mabby, get so hung up on the meta or the next step or the next gear increment or the next flaw. The game has problems.
The next flaw. Sorry, I like how you said that.
It's about having fun. If you're still having fun doing something, then you can criticize it as much. But at the end of the day, it's fun. And that's your hobbies. That's video gaming. That's being at the computer, talking to your friends. If you find yourself not having fun anymore, ask yourself why and try to either change things up or find the fun.
Yeah. 100%. That's actually one of the most common tips or advice that people give on here. But it really means a lot every time that I hear it.
Well, I see
because
it
it's completely true.
I see it pop up in the Discord just so much because there's a bunch of like just people not having fun anymore, but that are still here.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're not having fun, like either find a way to have fun, or find something that is fun.
Yeah. Maybe this sounds bad. Maybe this isn't it. Who knows?
Exactly.
You gotta find it.
Or set a personal goal, because half the time personal goals will lead yourself to having fun versus comparing yourself to others.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's good advice. Thank you. So yeah, I will see everybody another day in Erinn. Goodbye.